Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of y'all. I'm going to throw the Barricade, the Lego, the Scythe emote into chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. Or you can just say hi. You don't have to use my emotes. If you're not a subscriber, you can just use other emotes, some of the holiday ones maybe. Lasperga's here. That Mine Girl is here. Welcome. K Jedi is here. Welcome, welcome. Happy to have some folks here. This is the intro portion of the stream where we're just kind of hanging out, seeing what's up. When more people decide to join us, we will begin the stream proper. It is Boxing Day. So if you celebrate Boxing Day, if this is where you got your sales, if you're enjoying your Black Saturday out there, getting those sales, hopefully safely. Julie's here. Hi. So yeah, happy Boxing Day to everybody else. Happy December 26th. We got Aristofan subscribed at tier 2. That's 28 months on a 28th month streak. Thank you so much. Good evening, Pat. Only 5 more days of 2020. Indeed, Aristofan. Thank you for your tier 2 support. Appreciate that so much. Hitting the applause button there. Make sure you also throw emotes in there as well. Jam is here. Hell yeah. Yes. As I mentioned on Twitter, I don't know if you know this. It's a proven fact that the 12 Days of Christmas this year is different from previous years. Usually the 12 Days of Christmas is the 12 days up to and including Christmas Day. It's the lead in. This year, not the case. This year, the 12 Days of Christmas started on December 25th yesterday and will run until January 6th. We're celebrating Christmas for 12 days. So, happy Christmas too. This is the second day of Christmas. I hope that you're at a great second day of Christmas. We're going to keep Christmas going. Because why not? I'm going to cough. Let me do that. Sorry about that. Also, talking about Christmas, it's Christmas every day. Indeed. Thank you to everyone that came to my Christmas Eve stream. I was so nervous about doing a stream on Christmas Eve because I don't do streams on holidays usually. The only holiday I've ever really done streams on is New Year's Eve. I've done New Year's Eve streams, including next Thursday, doing a New Year's Eve stream, 2 hours of building, and then an hour of Jackbox games to ring in the new year on the East Coast. And then we'll go raid somebody, I'm sure. Probably on the West Coast. But yeah, so my Christmas Eve stream, if you missed it, that's okay. I made this. It's a little nutcracker. And his mouth moves. He's a little nutcracker. Now, I like the brickhead kits a lot, but I'll say this. This is the wobbliest brickheads I've ever put. In fact, if I was going to keep this kit together, I don't know if I will. You can see here there's only, you can't really see here. There's only, there's only 2 leg holes here, and it could take 4. So I would modify this and put another one there to give this more stability because it is pretty unstable in its base, and its base is really cute. So I don't like that. I will say that's the only thing I didn't like that. And I didn't notice it when we built it, but now that I've had it out, it is a little wobbly. I'm so glad you streamed Christmas Eve. It was great. Well, thank you. Yeah. I was done. Previous Christmas Eves, I have gone to a late mass. It's a sign of the times, right? Midnight mass used to be at midnight. Around here, around these parts, it's 9:30. But I'm not going to go to a church in the year 2020. No, thank you. So I did not go. Public gatherings must be somebody else, not me. So instead, just had dinner with the family. Then I'm here streaming. We'll talk a little bit about Christmas Day. I want to hear about your Christmas Day. I want to hear about your Boxing Day, of course. We are at the point of the season where a couple shows are still going on in anime, but most shows have wrapped up. They've hit their episode 12. Some have episode 13. I believe that I had one show is an ongoing, so I got a new episode of that, and then my other shows ended. So I have 2 other shows to talk about in the anime portion, the second hour, that I have finished up. I'm waiting till next week to talk about a regular at Magic High School because that's finishing up next week. This is my chance to kind of catch up on some things. So I have a few shows. I'm going to catch up on Jujutsu Kaisen. Noblesse is going to finish up next Wednesday, so I'll be able to talk about that. Is Anime Capybara-san over? I have no way of knowing. It had a 12th episode. Is it more than 12? I can't find any information. No one has that info. So I don't know. Um, yes, Lord Crashington. Um, the John Huber news was a big blow. So, uh, if you are a professional wrestling fan, um, you may know about the wrestler Brody Lee. He was on the Independence as Brody Lee, and then he was in the Wyatt family in WWE, and then his contract. They just took. They just weren't using him. He wasn't on TV, and he was pretty, open about that. And then as Brody Lee made appearances in AEW, his real name was John. And AEW announced on Twitter not too long ago, about 20 minutes ago, that he has passed away at the age of 41. And my condolences to his family and his friends. I saw Brody Lee wrestle once on the Indies, and he was terrifying. Just a big, brutal man. Um, woke up from a nap and saw the news. Yeah, just a brutal, brutal performer. By all accounts, a lovely person. Just a real, genuine, good person. But yeah, just a beast in the ring. And in fact, when I heard that he had gotten signed and was in developmental, I was happy for him. But I was surprised to hear that he wasn't the lead. He was in a faction, but wasn't the leader, because I only knew of Bray Wyatt as his former incarnation, Husky Harris, and I was like, how is Husky Harris the leader of a faction and Brody Lee is his underling? And it didn't make no sense to me. It didn't. It didn't make any sense to me. Um, because he was such a good talker and so charismatic and so terrifying. But yeah, I saw Moxley Lee, a Moxley Lee match, and it was CCW, I think, and it was terrifying. It is the last time, thankfully, I have seen light tubes used in a wrestling ring, because I don't go to places that do hardcore matches that often. Uh, oof. I went to that show to see comedy wrestling that was also happening on the card because it was a mixed card. Oh boy, I went for the comedy and stayed for the brutality, because you never know. Yeah, but yes. So R.I.P. to Brody Lee. That is devastating news. Um, and yeah, just general condolences. Um, yeah, I mean, he had been off television for a while, and there were rumblings about what that was, um, and yeah, I'm not going to speculate here. That said, you should watch the one light tube match DDT did. I mean, yeah, I've seen it. um, yeah, so I'm not going to speculate about that. If people want to make statements about that are knowledgeable about that issue, they certainly can. I do my damnedest not to speculate and not to armchair quarterback those kind of things when it comes to health and safety and family. Uh, yeah, I'm not here to speculate on those things. Uh, and yes, as Westbrook said, DDT did a match where it was basically just like, if you break a light tube, you lose, which is just a very funny, because they are brutal wrestlers doing a somewhat funny thing. His wife posted about it on Instagram. Okay, yeah, I mean that's obviously a credible source, but as I said, that wasn't something that I had read, so I didn't want to, uh, you know, put my name on it as endorsement of that information. But that's such a shame. Yeah. So yeah, my condolences to his family and friends, of which apparently there were many. Um, damn. I mean, obviously, you want people to be healthy and happy, but I was really looking forward to the Brody Lee character evolving and getting some sort, into whatever was going to end up being in AEW, and that's just a real shame. Yeah. So, to switch gears into model kit building and why we're here, my apologies for that. There's no good way to do it, but it was brought up in chat and I felt like talking about it. I am going to retweet my tweet, letting the people know that we're going. We're going to put some legs on this kit. I'll show you what we're doing here. Um, yeah, we're going to have a model kit building stream. We'll talk about, a bunch of stuff, Christmas stuff. First, I'll show you the kit here. So maybe you can tell. It's hard to see from there, so this is now. Unfortunately, doing 16 by 9 here, the 1920 by 1080 screen means I can't digitally zoom too much with this. I have to physically move the camera closer, which I definitely don't want to do. Um, as a test, I have done the very limited amount of some lines with a Gundam marker. I received 3 Gundam markers in the mail for my wish list. Thank you, Lashbrook, for that. And a black one, a gray one, and a brown one. And I used the black marker on the right here on our crown. And I just did the crown. I did the sides there. You can kind of see it, the details on the actual photo itself, the render of the photo. And I'm just basically making these lines just pop a little bit. That's what we're doing here. There are several techniques for doing this. I am doing the more quote-unquote dirty method of just kind of like hitting the spots you need and then wiping it away. Now, what are the techniques that we use for this? Obviously, we're going to keep building the kit before we get into any more detail, but we'll do a little bit now, just as a kind of introduction. This is from what I've learned from what I'm doing here, right? So we use black on there. We're going to use gray on the pink of this kit, and then we will use black on any other piece that's like a different color. There's some red, there's some golds here that we're going to see. Around on this gold piece there. We'll probably do that. I am getting an eraser. It'll be here tomorrow. A good, big, thick eraser. Just kind of go over stuff. That is a good way to remove things. It's probably the cleanest way. You can use tissue, which we have over here. And you can probably see a little ink on the tissue. And you can also just, good evening, dirty. You can also, if doing panel lining, just remove it with your thumb and then kind of clean your thumb off. That is another method. So, just to kind of show you, we've got a shoulder here. And you can see the shoulder. It looks pretty good. It looks all right. But we can take the gray and we can take the throw off there. And what we're going to do is we are going to try to hit the indents here. So we're going to take the pen, put it where we need it. No need to shake it or anything. It's not that kind of marker. So we're just going to go in to the indents. We can be sloppy with it a little bit. And we're just going to highlight some of these spots here. Go into all that. Yep. And then we can take our tissue. And we're wiping. We're kind of just wiping away the excess. That is an easy way to do it. And what you're left behind with is the layer that, the indent, which you didn't hit with the tissue, is removed. And it's subtle, but over time you can do it, with lots of detailing, and it just pops things, right? It's going to look great on camera. It's going to look great in video, photos. After the fact, it just kind of pops. It just makes everything pop a little bit. You don't have to go nuts with it. You can do as little as you want. There's different techniques. There's some shading techniques you can do, but it just kind of, you just hit the spots there. You're just putting some ink on some stuff. What do you say there? That's gross looking. Like that is, I just did a corner right there. Unnecessary. And then we'll move there. And it just adds a little bit of fine detail. So we'll do some lines here. And you can always remove pieces. Some people do all their work ahead of time. Some people put the piece on, see what they want to do, take the piece off, which we could do. But yeah, we're just going to hit some spots. Just hitting spots with the marker. Again, we can be a little dirty with it and looking to see some spots there. Now, using Gundam markers. Hey, Slowbird. Using Gundam markers instead of paint or thicker markers, there is a technique we can't do, which is you really can't do a thing where you would use like the edge. If you had a thicker marker than this, right, you would use the edge to kind of shade some stuff in and then clean it up. We don't have that ability, so we can't do that. What we can do is just use the marker and what we've been given with it. And a little erasing there. You can also use your thumb, as I said, or a finger to kind of get the excess off, and then wipe that off. And then, okay, so that looks pretty good. And we'll do it there. We'll do a line there. And we'll do a line there. Yeah, we can paint, and we'll just kind of shade that off there, and then hit the excess off. Yeah, and it's kind of that easy. Yeah, I usually paint a line after I've cleaned up the nubs and before I put the part on the kit. Yes, Lashbrook, a lot of people do it as they go. They kind of look at it and then they'll put the parts on the kit. Yes, that Ermine girl says I usually partially disassemble it to do bits and pieces, not a full disassembly, but just detaching arms and legs and stuff. Yeah, so we could take the arm off here, and that way we can look at the piece and kind of see. Now, this kit doesn't really have a lot of lines for the paneling. Not a lot of panel lines for us to do. We can do some arm stuff here. We can hit these nubs here. Hit that line there. There's not a lot because it's different pieces connected together, and some of it is black, and that's just not going to work on black. We can also hit that like there. And then we just take our tissue, kind of make that a faint thing there. Try to hit the nubbins. Yeah. It does make it feel a little bit more cartoonish in a way, or a little more like, yeah, a little more comic booky, and I'm a fan of that. Put some lines there. And, you know, the back of the kit, a lot of people don't do the back of the kit. I'm going to do a little bit on the shoulders because I think doing it on the shoulders is good because that way you can do poses. Not everyone is going to do that, and if that's not your thing, that's okay. Oops, messed up my lines there, so we'll wipe that off. And also trying not to get the marker on the sticker because you can't undo marker on the sticker, obviously. But yeah, we're just going to hit that. I'm underneath the light so I can kind of see what I want to hit. And yeah, we're just giving it some definition. We're giving it a little bit of charm. And yeah, making just kind of figuring out where the lines go and doing as little as we want. I'm using gray on this. Also, the back of a kit is a great place to like do a line to look at and go, huh, do I like this? No. Because you don't really need to do all like the backpack or anything, but you certainly can. But yeah, that's a good way to just be like, let me just look at this piece on a piece. You can also use the tray as well. Or if a kit has, like if a kit's a modified kit, like a lot of the high grades are, and has extra pieces, you can do a piece on the tray that is a different color than what you did. So I did the arm there. Like I said, there's not a whole lot to detail there, but I can do the other arm. And we're going to get to building as well, and then of course, but since we have this, it's nice to just kind of take a look at it. Yeah, but I am not an expert on doing this, certainly by no means, so feedback is always appreciated in the chat. Feel free to let me know your thoughts. Yeah, I think like, yeah, a few things, but yeah, mostly I'm just kind of following my instincts here. I watched a bunch of tutorial videos on how some people do their things and their methods, and mostly I'm just kind of following my instincts on where the lines are and what are lines that are connecting pieces and what are what's going to look good on the kit, and trial and error. Oops, and a sticker came off. That is a bummer. This kit is a little rough to do it. One, because the colors, and two, it's a little rough to do because it relies a lot on stickers because it's a high grade. So you want to make sure that your stickers are properly adhered before you're doing anything where you're rubbing like tissue or an eraser over an area, so that you make sure you don't accidentally remove the sticker, which we did, which is a shame. You can always use clear coat as well over some stuff. I don't have any of that. I'm not doing that. I'm not worried about that. But yeah, we'll just do. Oops, add a habit. Had that out. But yeah, and we'll just hit this line right there. Kind of rub that off a little bit there. And people do weathering. That's a whole other technique that I've had a little bit experience with working in scene shops for theater. I've done some weathering. It's been a long time since I did that. Left-Handed Radio is now following. Thank you for the follow, Left-Handed Radio. Hello, various friends involved in Left-Handed Radio. Look, I'm going to assume John Robert did this, but it could be somebody else. It's not John Robert. I know it's not John Robert. This is Adam or Matt or Adam or Matt. Adam? No, I know it's not JR. JR has followed me on several accounts and is not associated with Left-Handed Radio. That was a mistake that I said, so I do apologize for that. But thank you for the follow. Uh, um, but yeah, yes, what was that? So for theater stuff, I have done some weathering for like books and stuff to make things look older for scenes. I have done a little bit of that. Of course, I've not done that on a model kit, but I have some familiarity with for the process. Okay, yeah, so that's the arm, and then we could do a little bit of the waist here. Just make sure that looks. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that there, and then there's these tiny little yellow pieces here, and I think I'm gonna hit that with the black because I think that's gonna look good. But a lot of this is just like what I'm thinking might look good, and then kind of giving it a highlight there. Yeah, ooh, I do like that. Yeah. Okay. That really does. That really does look good. Damn. Okay. Weathering is fun because you can just experiment with making something look real beat up and dirty. Yes, Slowbird. Will we say that like if you mess up a kit, if you break a piece, that's not you didn't mess up. That's battle damage, right? Like that's the old cliche of just like, oh no, I meant to do that. This thing's been through the hell. Uh, and then yeah, ooh, I like that. I do like that a lot on the yellow. Uh, I mean, you can tell because now you can see that there's a line there that you otherwise that would just look like a yellow piece to y'all. Um, and we'll move back to the gray. Ooh, I do want to hit this spot here, I think. I want to hit this here. Yeah, ooh, I do like that, yeah. Finish off on that. Yeah, looks good. Alright, and we'll hit this here. Oops. Do that, and then we can just clean. Yeah. Just hitting it where you think it needs it, and then cleaning up after yourself. And if you're like, that looks bad, alright, well, then get rid of it. You're just figuring it out. You're just doing what you gotta do. Little indents are always good to do. Line segments here and there. Clean it up. If it looks bad. And also, we're doing this part here. We haven't put the legs in, so some of this might not even be noticeable. And that's okay. If it's not, we'll just do this again. And the nice thing about doing this stuff is like you can do as little as much as you want, right? Like I think doing I'll go here. I think doing the crown there really like makes that pop, and I think it looks really great. Um, but some of this is like going to be lost because it's just the way the colors we're using might not pop on it. Uh, and then yeah, and then you have the choice like this thing is going to have weapons. This thing's going to have thrusters attached to it. We're never going to see that, but the backpack we might see. So we might want to do these lines here, just kind of shading all of that, and then tissue, wipe it away. Yeah, we're just like kind of looking at and see where some lines belong. And this technique is nice because you can definitely, you don't have to be delicate with it. Now, if we're getting into paints, you're going to want to be a little more delicate with these lines, from my understanding. But I'm not using paint because that's an extra step. That's a step too far for me. This was already a thing where I was like, I think I want to try doing this, but I don't know. Like this is already a new territory. This is new ground. We're ending the year with a new thing for Pat Bear. But this will be a thing that I'm going to try to do with like all my kits from now on, right? This will be the end of me doing model kits. We'll be hitting some stuff. I don't know if I'm going to be doing it as I go. I mean, maybe I will. Maybe I will be doing it as we go. I'll be stopping and starting. But I don't think that, I think that does interrupt the flow of model kit building. And I think I'd rather just do this at the end and, remove segments and sections to kind of get a glimpse of what needs to get done. But yeah, that wasn't much. That didn't take too long, and I think that it just looks great. I think it really does. And we could do obviously. There's going to be things. There are thrusters in here, but we can just hit a little. We can hit a little bit of paint in there, just to kind of highlight what this is. We can hit around it. Just a little bit of marker. If I say paint and I mean marker, you know what I mean. I think my next adventure is learning to use an airbrush. Goddamn, slow bird. I spray paint a lot of stuff, but there's some colors that just can't find in a spray can. Wow, yeah. I have very limited experiences with airbrushing and with spray painting, like using a sprayer. I have very little experience with that. I cannot give you any tips on that other than I can tell you, say good luck, because that seems difficult. But yeah, all right. So that's where we are now. Um, so for tonight's stream, once I put armor on, like when we finish a leg and I put some armor on, or I do a foot or something like that, we will stop and we'll do some line painting, some marker lining. We'll do that because I think that's going to be interesting to see how that works. I don't know if that's going to be what I do every stream. Also, what I can do is in the future, I can physically move my camera so it is closer to here because at a certain point I can't zoom anymore and keep it just the camera and going HD on it. But I can physically move it, but I don't want to do that multiple times during a stream. I want to like set it at a level. So I can physically move it down and we can do like line painting or marker streams. And I think that would be kind of cool. Or at the end of a stream I can just move it down to kind of get closer. So you can kind of see better. But yeah, I don't have a lot of digital zoom on this camera. When you go 4x3 like I am on this camera, this is very zoomed, and I can zoom it in even more if I wanted to. But this unfortunately I can't. So we'll move on to that. Airbrushing is tough, but once you get the hang of it, you want to do it to everything. Okay, I don't doubt that. As I said, that is not in my wheelhouse, but it's not a thing but I certainly agree. To change gears and talk about life a little bit, I had a pretty alright Christmas Day. Had some good food. Spent some time with the family. I'm living here with my folks right now, and so it was nice to see them. Feel free to let me know in the chat right now. If you want to share what you did. We just ate. We just ate and hung out. I mean, my dad got up and he got a new griddle pan. It is like a thing with handles on it, and you put it on the stove itself, and then it is a griddle plate. So we got a new griddle plate, not a pan, it's a plate. He got that, and he's very happy with that. So he made pancakes, which was great. So woke up to pancakes. That was lovely. Uh, and then kind of just hung out for the day, listened to some music, some Christmas CDs, which was very fun. And then ate dinner at like 2. Our family does uh, turkey and mashed potatoes and peas and carrots and stuffing and cranberry sauce and olives, and it was just real good. Gravy, just like real good, just a real good meal. So uh, that was our Christmas, and then there's a family across the street. We're friendly with them. We don't socialize with them because of the pandemic, but we're friendly with them. Um, they were going to be alone this Christmas, and then our next door neighbors are usually in Canada this time of year. They have a house in Canada. It must be nice. Of course, they have not been in Canada. They've been here, and she recently had surgery. So my mom basically made way more stuff than normal so I could send stuff over, and then they had their own Christmas dinners. So I put on the Santa hat and got bundled up because it was cold as fuck. It's colder today, but for South Carolina, it was fucking cold yesterday. So I bundled up and then made a delivery of like dessert and basically everything that we had made. Oh, there were also sweet potatoes, but I didn't even think about that because that's not something I eat. So my dad had sweet potatoes and instead of mashed potatoes, and so he just brought stuff over, which was really nice, and I was really happy we were able to do that. Um, I felt like a nice thing to do. Um, Dirty said, typical solo Christmas here. Ate steak, watched Die Hard, and napped in the recliner. Caught up on Anime Capybara-san. Hell yeah, Anime Capybara-san. It's very easy to catch up on that show because that show is very short. And then Julie had Zoom presents and brunch with my family, napped, and then played Jackbox with friends online until midnight. It ended up being really good. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, I watched some streams last night, hung out with some stuff, with some people in chatted. A Discord that I am in suddenly had a video component, and so I hopped on there to hang out with a few people on Christmas Day, which was very nice. Um, and that was just chill. That was just chill and cool. But yeah, if y'all want to share, no need to, but if you feel like sharing what you did this holiday, feel free to let me know. I enjoy hearing from you. All right, so we're going to put a piece of armor on here. So I guess we are going to hit this with a marker before we put it on. Yeah, we're going to follow through. Um, yeah, it was a fun little day, and and then there's an apple pie. If you've been following the story since Thanksgiving, this apple pie did not rise too much above and leave that air pocket between the filling and the crust as much as last time. But did it do it at some point? Yes. Okay. This is just a solid piece. I'm not even going to worry about putting anything on here. Uh, Not even going to worry about it. Oh, and no, I'll do up here. I'll do that. We also kind of just hung out and ate all day. It was nice and chill. Nice, slow bird. Yeah. Um, my mom also got like a strawberry swirl on top cheesecake, and my dad doesn't eat cheesecake, and so I got some of that, and that was I don't know who bought somebody bought that, brought it over, and that ruled. That was really nice. Uh, but yeah, um, it felt good to help out the neighbors. That was something I was happy to do. Been trying to make myself useful now and again. I'm gonna have to go up and do the gutters because it poured on Christmas Eve. Damn. I don't. You might even be able to pick it up on the mic on the Christmas Eve stream. It was just pouring all day and all night, so I'm gonna have to get up on them gutters and do it and take a look in the next couple of days, and then mow the lawn one last time to get all the weeds up, which is an annoying thing, but a thing that you do, I guess. Even though everything's kind of brown, you still want to do it. Cheesecake's my favorite cake. It's been too long since you had cheesecake. Well, Julie, yes, it is. I do enjoy good cheesecake, and Slowbird, I hope you get cheesecake soon. All right, so let's look at this. We're going to look at this piece. We're going to see our natural spots here. Our natural spot to me is this line right here, and this line right here, and then this line right there. It's connected to two. Yeah, that looks good. And we could do some shading, but I don't think we need to. And I also not think I'm good at that. So then we'll just take our tissue here. As I said, I am going to get that eraser, and I'm going to be excited about that eraser. And then I think I'm just going to go over this line one more time. Nice and easy. Oop. Yeah, I think that looks good. And then we'll put that piece right there. Yeah, so we're going to try that out. Again, I'm not sure how it's going to work for me on doing these streams. If it's something I'm going to be doing as we go, if it's something I'm going to be doing, some kits, some kits I won't do anything on, like the entry grade Deku. That kit doesn't need that because it's a person. When we do Goku, Super Saiyan Goku, maybe I'll do a little bit on the gi, but probably not. Probably won't even think about it. Kind of can't imagine I'll be doing that. Maybe I will. I don't know. We'll just kind of do it as we go and what it needs. Obviously, robot stuff, probably a little bit more. But there might be some model kits that are people that it's going to look really good to put some panel lining on there and kind of go for more of a comic book feel. More of a little bit of a cell shaded vibe. I don't really know. I'm learning as we go, and that's great because it has been a hot minute since I have been nervous about doing this stream. Generally, my only nerves are if I'm going to talk about a thing I'm nervous to talk about, which isn't that often, or I do sometimes get flustered if a whole lot of people are suddenly in chat or nobody is, and I wonder if anyone will come. Those are usually the only things that I'm kind of thinking about for model kit streams these days. So to have a thing where I'm I don't know how that's going to work out. I don't know if this is going to be good. People are going to be like, this is not what you're doing it wrong, or anything like that. I don't know. As always, I do not consider myself and have never claimed to be an expert. I am an enthusiast with a lot of experience. I'm an experienced enthusiast. I've been doing this for a while. That is all I will say. And that is where it lies for me. I am been doing this for a long time, and think that I do okay with it, but I am by no means an expert. Well, thank you, Julie. Julie says I'm an expert at being awesome. Well, I appreciate that. I'm practiced at being my best, and always try to do better at it. So I appreciate that. Now you can go down the fun rabbit hole getting new marker colors when you get a weird kit that's magenta. I mean, yes and no. I could see myself kind of going down a rabbit hole of hey, I need to figure out what color to use for this kit, or just being well, none of my colors look good on this. Guess I won't do anything to it. Okay. All right. So then we'll need C9, C19. So we can look at C19. Do that. Do you ever open up a kit and think to yourself, oh, this is going to be particularly challenging? So Aristophan, generally I know by looking at the photo, I can tell. Now, when I first started doing Iron-Blooded Orphan kits, they confused me. You may know this from doing it over here, but the waist is really tiny. Like this waist is the smallest little thing, and it's hunched over. It's naturally hunched over. So the shoulders or the chest piece there that the shoulders pop into is weird. Now I've built a lot of Iron-Blooded Orphan kits now, so that's not a challenge to me. But it used to really perplex me, and people that watch the streams at the beginning would often see me just like stop and go like, I did this wrong, and have to like undo it. So usually I'm pretty good. Now real grades can mess you up. Real grades could definitely make you stop and go, what is this supposed to be? Um, that's about where I am since Lowbird. I've been building models for years and enjoy it a lot, but I don't try to make it like show quality or anything. I just build for whatever level I'm happy with. Yeah, I mean, like over the course of these years, I have put stickers on kits, and some people would be shocked to know that I used to not do stickers at all, even not just like transfers, like regular like any stickers. I didn't do any stickers for the longest time because I just wasn't interested in doing it. Um, so that might surprise some people, but yeah, that was the thing. I just didn't have any interest in doing it. Um, uh, my first perfect grade, I felt pretty comfortable with because it was not that old of a kit. My second perfect grade was Char Zaku 2, and that was an old kit. That was the first Gundam perfect grade, or the second Gundam perfect grade. I can't remember. Um, but that was daunting because it was an old and very precise kit, and there were no English instructions. So I got very nervous about doing that kit. Uh, that's the last time a kit really scared me. Until the thing that really kind of terrified me the first time was doing the AE86 from Initial D, because that was using liquid cement, which I had never used before. I had used glue way back in the day as a kid on glue kits, but I had never done anything like that. And I was terrified of fucking up that kit. And I did mess up. I did mess up the very first car that I built on that. I very much messed up the undercarriage, and I had to redo it. I had to like separate the pieces and re-glue and do all that. And I was, terrified. That was, yeah. All right, that looks pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Happy with those lines. And then, all right, so we need B1. B1 is, we're here. But yeah, so this is just really right now I'm just investing, or B9 I should say. I said B1. I was like, that doesn't look right. It's B9. This is a black piece here. So we could, I don't, this is the black piece. I don't think anything's going to like really like pop on this. We can just because it's the back of the leg. This is the back of the leg. We can just for shits and giggles hit it with the brown, which it doesn't do anything except it might inadvertently highlight it. It's like accidentally highlighting because it is some color on it. But yeah, black pieces, we're not really worried about that. But I would say that Aristophan, yeah, in general, it's been a while since a kit really like flummoxed me and made me nervous. Especially since, you can't really do much on black pieces. Yeah, no. I mean, we're hitting it, and maybe it'll make it a little shinier, but that's not really a thing. We're not really doing anything with that. All right, so we're going to put this, where does this go? Also, modern model kits are just, I'm not going to say they're easy, but you're able to follow along. You're able to understand what they're trying to do. Occasionally I look at something and I go, I have no idea what this is asking of me. And those are usually older kits that make me say that. Okay, yeah, so this doesn't snap in anywhere. Yeah, so it says, here's the thing, right? Thank God, this is a kit from the year 2020. So it says on it, please press here to attach the part. This doesn't snap on. It's held in place with you're holding it, and then we're going to snap this piece on, and that will lock it in place. and then we'll do it on the other side as well. So, like, that's basically just saying, like, hey, don't worry about it, which is very helpful for when you are trying to figure out why a thing isn't working the way you thought it was supposed to. Uh, Whereas if this was from the year 2010, I would not be able to read that, and I would be like trying to do it and going like, I don't know why this isn't working, and then it was like, oh, now I know why it's not working. I was doing it wrong. All right. Uh, Even now, I still totally screw up things sometimes with putting too much glue on them. Oh yeah, I mean totally, right? Like you can still mess some stuff up. Like even if you've been, doing doing kits for a long time, or working on things, or you're working on like a line you're really comfortable with. Like I said, I didn't mess up the chest on this Iron Blooded Orphans kit because I know how high grade Iron Blooded Orphans Gundams go together now because I've been doing it this whole time. As long as I've been doing this, I've done that. Yeah, like I said, occasionally something will like really put a wrench in my plans and really like make me have to stop and go like, what am I supposed to do here? What do you want from me? But most of the time, I'm just look at it and go, okay, okay, all right, there, and like there. But yeah, I mean, I didn't. I've said this. I didn't do stickers. I didn't do water transfers. I didn't do dry. I'm still terrible at dry transfers. Oh man, they're just so few and far between. I'm very bad at dry transfers. Yeah, when those come along, I feel very awkward about doing that. And would prefer not to. And markers was the thing. Like I've certainly watched people do it. I watch streams. I watch tutorials. I know about them. I had friends that did Warhammer and do paints, and that's like, nah. Because yeah, some people say like, oh, are you gonna do any painting or whatever? It's like, nope, 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 nope. This is the assembly show. But detailing, I don't mind doing detailing now and again. All right, so let's look at this piece and then get this together here. I think we're gonna get in some black here around this piece. So we'll be able to use some different markers on the same section, which will be good. Because we need B13. Oops, hitting that light. I'm hitting my light here. Sorry. There. All right. Yeah. So, we'll look at this, and this is going to go here. So, now I've been doing gray on this, and I'll be hitting some of this with gray. But I think around this red piece, and including the indent here, I actually want to do black. Because I think that is going to make this pop a lot more where the white is, because it's a color hitting another color. All throughout this, mostly I've been hitting almost exclusively, just been doing the same piece, the same color, and just hitting the highlights there. And in this case, I'm going to hit, these are, where two colors are connecting, which you're going to get more in a master grade than you are in a real grade. Because real grades, the fact that this isn't a sticker, I'm so happy about, because a lot of this shit is stickers on these kits. So the fact that this isn't a sticker, like, to compare it, that's a piece of plastic, a red piece of plastic. We saw that right there. Right here, that's a sticker. That's a sticker. Instead of being plastic. So that I don't want to get marker on the stickers because I'm not super confident in my marker technique. But this, yeah, I think that really, really makes it stand out. I'm very happy with how that looks. Like I'm not like, oh, I'm doing a show happy about that. Like, oh, I'm me and I'm doing my thing because I'm on camera. Like, I genuinely think that looks cool and looks way better than it would if I had done it just on my own. Like, if I hadn't done it. Like, I genuinely think I'm making this kit look better because of that line. And that is a cool feeling. All right, and we'll just do like that. This is just going to be erased, and it'll just leave a little bit of a shadow because these aren't really indents. This is just to give it a little more character. like that and hit like that. We're just hitting it with a gray on this pink. And then we'll just rub some of the excess off. Yeah, that just kind of gives it a little bit more of a shadow line. I think that looks neat. And then we will assemble it like this. And then we can take a look at as we do it. Yeah, I'm going to hit that again with the gray, I think. I'm starting up a big Technic Lego set. It's a lot of pieces, and each set of bags is like 6 bags of small pieces, most challenging than my normal builds. Wow, yeah. That if each bag is just a bunch of bags, that is a lot of work. So good luck to you on that. And we'll just hit this where it connects, just the underneath a little bit here. I don't often do the panel lining where pieces are attached to each other, but those are usually because they're joints, whereas this is just the layers of armor. And I think that'll look good. Yeah, I think that looks very good. I think that really does just give it a lot of definition. Sweet. I am happy with that. Thank you for the follow, Xander. Appreciate that. Welcome to the Bear Cave. This is the Build With Baer Workshop. Working on my model kits here. We're going to put together a foot for this, so we'll do that. This is the leg, which is just about done, which is great. But yeah, Ristovan, good luck on that project. Model kits and things in the new year. If you are a subscriber, you most likely got an email or 2 emails because I fucked up from me where I sent you a poll. I can tell you the results of that poll because I closed the results because one of the kits dropped in price and I wanted to buy it. So the winning, I put 3 model kits up for bid, right? Or not bid, but like interest. I wanted people to vote. It was anyone who's a patron from the $1 up to the $10 tier, and anyone who's a subscriber, tier 1 or tier 2, was able to vote. People that have been gifted subs got that, right? Because there's honestly actually no way to separate that out easily, so I didn't. You just email all your subscribers. So I emailed all my subscribers and said, hey, vote on what you think I should buy, because I had Amazon gift cards coming in, could make it a big Amazon purchase. In third place was the Strike Gundam. This was in third place. The second place was the Destiny Gundam, which I do not have a photo of here. And in first place was the Kyrios Gundam, which I am incredibly excited to say was in first place. Now, why is this photo here? Well, that's because both of them were on sale, and so I bought them at the same time. I did not buy the thing that came in second place because that is currently on Amazon. The Destiny Gundam is going for $75, and I would have purchased it. Believe me, I would have bought it. If it had won, I would have bought that, and then I would have bought a high grade. But I had about $100 in Amazon gift cards, and so I spent that and then a little bit of money from the Patreon. This was from the Twitch, because the Twitch payout was recently. And so I got both these kits for a little over $100. I got both of these master grades. And yeah, so thank you to everybody that voted. I think I got a pretty good amount of votes, and I appreciate that. On what they wanted to see. I know that there were 30% of you wanted me to buy the Destiny Gundam. And I would have, as I said, if it hadn't been $75. But because the Kyrios and Strike were both on sale, they were both like reduced from what they've previously been, I went for it. And I don't think I made a mistake. I think I did the right thing. I'm very pleased with that purchase. The Kyrios Gundam, as you can see here, has got orange in it, which I love. And it's got a shield that is also a weapon, and it transforms. And I love a kit that transforms. Y'all, I love a kit that transforms. That is some of my favorite shit. And also, I will say, now I haven't seen it in person, but from the show, that's a good looking transformation. It's a good looking jet. So I am excited to put that together. Speaking of jets, I can't wait to show you the thrusters on the back of this thing. I can't wait to put together the thrusters on this kit and then have you go, Pat, that thing doesn't transform though, right? It doesn't become a plane. Why is it like that? And I will be able to respond to you. I have no fucking idea. I don't know why. But like, we'll get to it at some point. Look at these things. These belong on a plane. Look at them. Look at them. They go on the butt, basically. Those are thrusters for a plane. They're color accurate. I know that this is a mobile suit from a video game, but that doesn't make any sense. Why is that happening? What? Why is this thing doesn't transform? It's just such a weird gimmick. Anyway, butt thrusters. Look, is this the back of the leg? Yes. Are we going to hit it with that black marker? 100% we are. Is this necessary? No. Are we going to do it? Yes. But yeah, it's got butt thrusters, and I don't know why. All right, so we're just going to hit that. We're going to hit that. And we'll hit this little thing there. And then just hit that with that. Clean up the excess. Yeah. That's just the back of the foot, but I thought it would look cool. Then I need the front of the foot here. Get my tissues out of the way. B12. All right. Oh, this is red, so we can put a little marker on this as well. But yeah, I don't know why this thing has butt thrusters. So those are kits that are coming. Those are expensive kits that I bought thanks to gift cards, which is excellent. Of course, in a little bit, we'll take a pause for the calls, and I'll talk ways you can support the stream, including my Amazon wish list, which, hey, if you want to buy that Destiny Gundam for me to build, you definitely could buy that Destiny Gundam. It costs, as I said, a ton of fucking money. But if that's your game and that's the game you want to play, like that's your deal, like go for it. Like, go nuts, but it's very expensive. So I purchased the one that won the poll, and then I purchased the one that came in third. And I don't feel bad about it. All right, let's hit this with the marker here. Do this where you can see what I'm doing. Just good there. Hit that there. We'll hit this here. All right. And do this here. Got a little on my finger. Gonna have to clean up after. That's fine. No reason to do the bottom of the foot. I don't think I'm going to need action poses with this kit, so I'm not going to do the bottom of it. But you could. I could. You could. But I'll do that. The lines there. It makes me happy. I think it looks neat. And then, of course, as we start assembling these pieces, we can look at it and see if these need a little more detailing. It is a lot easier to do this as we go. Even if it takes longer, it does definitely make the thing look, or make the process easier, because that way you're not removing pieces and worrying about it separating or disconnecting or anything like that. Some people do, as I said, wait until the end, and you're more than welcome to do that as well. But I'll just kind of do it in segments and get a sense. And also, I am new to this, so I am figuring it out as we go as well. So we'll just snip that up there. And I think that's just an Amazon seller issue. USA Gundam Store has the Destiny Gundam for $51. Yeah, Lashbrook, that's definitely someone who is selling through Amazon with Amazon Prime, and so it's being fulfilled by Amazon shipping, and that's why it's $75. Yes, if I had 50 something dollars at USA Gundam Store, I could get it without it being a problem. I want to do gray on this. Oh no, I want to do gray on these. I'm doing gray on pink, not black. That's fine. It's not gonna hurt anybody, but I'm gonna do gray on this one. Already getting sloppy, getting into the rhythm. That's fine. This is just a choice I made that I want to do gray on these. Okay. But yeah, that is mostly just like an Amazon reseller or seller, someone with a store on Amazon charging that price. And it's also possible that there is a cheaper deal but doesn't have Amazon Prime shipping, and I just hadn't really investigated. But that I couldn't get the first choice and the third choice at the second choice at the same time, so I went with the first choice and the third choice. And I don't regret that because I think it was still a good idea. Now, is this... No, okay. This is how it should go. All right. That goes like that. That goes into this. It's a little wonky. This is a kit from this year, came out this year. So, as I said, that's why I'm the mostly mad about the stickers, the amount of stickers in this kit, because it is a kit from the year 2020, and so that's somewhat frustrating to me that this thing has so many stickers. All right, that's most of the leg. As you can see, that we're been detailing as we go, and then we can do, since we connected the pieces, we can do black here against where the red meets the pink. And we'll just do that there. Really make this pop. And do that there. Great. So yeah, we're just doing it where it connected. And we're going to do it in black because we're hitting black on the red pieces and gray on the pink pieces. Kind of make it. And that really stands out and I think looks genuinely pretty good. Currently ironing a Valkyrie model kit from Macross as my next kit. That's going to require glue. Yikes, dirty. Yeah, I mean, anytime you get into glue kits, or especially old kits and old kits that are glue kits, like, yeah, you're definitely running into quite the ordeal. All right, so we're going to take a pause for the cement, not glue. Okay, you're doing liquid cement. Great. We're going to take a pause for the cause, folks. If you're new to the stream, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to as briefly as I can, talk about ways you can support the channel if that's something you would like to do. You're under no obligation to do so. If you would be pleased, I would be pleased as punch if you would like to support me, and we'll talk about the ways you can. You watching, give me a follow if you haven't already given me a follow, because that way you know when I stream, which is Mondays and Thursdays and Saturdays from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. On Wednesdays, I do a bonus stream that is not model kit building. It is something else. This Wednesday, I happen to be doing a stream that is Pat Bear's Anime Club, which is a YouTube show that I do. I'm going to do a live recording of my wrap-up, my thoughts on the conclusion of this season of anime. Now, is there a show that has one more episode coming up that I could wait to talk about? Yeah, but I already know what I think about that show, and the finale of it isn't going to change that, so we're going to do a wrap-up on Wednesday. 3 people were throwing the emotes, including Q Cube. Thank you, Q Cube, for being here. But yeah, throw the emotes, let the people know. Becoming a subscriber is a great way to support what I do. $5 a month, or your Prime token. If you have Amazon Prime, you link it with your Twitch, you get a token. If you're not using it on me, please use it for someone. Please take that advantage of that money that you got, because that can help somebody out quite a bit. Gifting subs. This Christmas season, we have had so many gifts. This is, I think, the only month that we have had more gifts was June of this year, with my birthday month, where people went buck wild with gifts, which was incredibly generous of them. But this month we've had 13 gifts, subs, which is incredible. Thank you so much for your generosity. Gifting a sub is a great way to support what I do. Also, bits and coins are always appreciated. They just, it's always a good little thing. We've had plenty of bits and coins this month. I very much appreciate that. So if you'd like to become a subscriber and support what I do here, it would appreciate it so much. I also have an alternative, which is my Patreon. Patreon.com/PatBaer is my Patreon. There's a $1 tier, a $3 tier, a $5 tier, and a $10 tier. If you join today, you would get an exclusive Q&A I only do for my Patreon. The $1 tier unlocks that, and there are rewards, extra rewards for the other tiers. I answered 2 questions. I kind of talked about part of one here, but the other one I'm not going to say anything about because that's for the Patreon, and eventually I'll talk about it in real life. But in real life, whatever, on the streams. But I didn't want to. I want to hold that off there. Just it's the only exclusive content I make. So that's that. Patreon, great way to support what I do. Donations. If you wanted to do a donation, because everything I make through donations, through my Patreon, through my Twitch, goes into me buying model kits and equipment. So if you wanted to support me that way, you could just donate some money, and there's some various links there. If you do Streamlabs, I should say, it appears here on the screen as part of the overlay as an alert. But you don't have to do that. You could do through my PayPal or my Coffee. Those are easy ways to support what I do here, like a one-time thing, because everything, as I said, goes into buying kits. We will get back to building real soon. We're going to talk about some anime stuff. I'm going to wax poetic on some anime. But first, I want to say the markers that I'm currently using and the next kit I will be building, which is it's the 00 Quanta high grade. Those were bought by Lashbrook. Thank you very much, Lashbrook. And they were purchased off my Amazon wish list, which is the easiest way to jump the queue. I've got a bunch of stuff waiting for me to build. I've got more stuff coming, as I said. But if you have something you saw on the list and you're like, Pat, you should build that next. Well, you put your money where your mouth is and buy it, and then I'll build it on stream. Sometimes they have free shipping or free delivery stuff. Sometimes there are Amazon Prime. Sometimes you got to pay extra. I try to keep things that have Amazon Prime links on them, but that's not always possible. But yeah, I put high grades and master grades and a couple papercraft things in there. I've put expensive kits and inexpensive kits. The Destiny Gundam right now is down to $65 instead of $75. See, it's been jumping in price. But the Master Grade Jesta is $80, and that doesn't need to be $80, but it is. And yeah, I have some equipment on the bottom, but you buy that, it comes here. I make a little video talking about it. It's a great way to support what I do, but it's not necessary. Another way to support what I do, which involves more steps but doesn't involve Amazon, so some people want that option, is if you've got, you got a hole in your pocket, you got one of those debit cards, the Visa prepaid cards, and you're like, I don't know what to do with this. Well, you could use it to buy gift cards on USA Gundam Store. You go to USA Gundam Store, you buy a gift card. They send you an email with a code. Then you send me a DM on Twitter, or a whisper here on Twitch if you want, but DM on Twitter is probably easier. And you go like, hey, here's this code. I take that code, I buy a kit on USA Gundam Store, and then it acts just like the Amazon in which I build it ahead of time. We'll go real quickly. I bet USA Gundam Store hasn't updated this, but I didn't check in 2 days, so we're going to check right now. I am signing into my USA Gundam Store account to see if my Ultimate Gohan has shipped. It was supposed to ship in October, and it has not yet because it has not arrived to them from Bandai. And I purchased it, pre-ordered it in June. It was, I said October, slipped. November, slipped. Still saying, let's see, does it say? Yes, estimated arrival, December 2020. I do not think that is true. We are almost in January, which is a bummer. I got another kit coming in January that I pre-ordered from Bandai. I'm very excited about that. And I'll tell you right now, because you're here during this, before I plug some links to some things, I bought a puzzle I bought a 1,000-piece puzzle. I've never done a puzzle on stream. I bought a 1,000-piece puzzle. I'm going to build a puzzle sometime in the year 2021. So, if you're excited about that, cool. If you're not excited about that, buy me something off my wish list. So I have to build the things on the wish list before I can build the thing that I bought with my money. Uh, so yeah, that's coming out. Pat Bear's Anime Club, I said I'm doing a live one on Wednesday. This is the last pre-recorded one. It's my Pat Bear Anime Club Awards. I gave some superlative awards to shows I really liked and shows I was really unhappy with. Like, I gave an award to show that should have ended the previous season, to Food Wars, because the fifth plate was bad, and I don't care that the manga was also bad. Don't put the fifth season out. Just be like, just tack on an ending to the fourth season. The fourth season ended great, and the fifth season was worthless. Um, just do it in a montage. Put out a special. Unnecessary. Bummer. Got my should have ended the season earlier award. Baering the List is a ranking video series I do. Next Wednesday will be the last one, because this is the 51st one I did here, where I talked about 10 Lego sets I built this year, and I ranked them. And I'll be doing one more next Wednesday, and then in January I will begin a brand new video series where I do something else. It's called Bear With Me, and you'll find out when I put the first episode up what that's all about. All right, I'm going to drink a little water. We're going to talk about some anime that I watched. I'm going to be giving my episode recap of one show and my thoughts on two other shows that I did not watch week to week, and I'll talk about that. But I also need to drink a little water. I'm going to hit the old water command here, and then, oops, have a little water. I keep my water glass far away from everything. All right. Yep, that was needed. Oh, I dripped water, a little bit of water. Got here on the table. That's going to be okay. That'll be fine. Indeed. Water, water, water. Indeed. I drank some water. All right, let's go back to the overhead. Thanks for sticking with me. I know that's weird. I know every week the ad read is weird, but it is important because it is important for me to remind y'all about the stuff that I'm into and the things I would like you to be into, which is the video stuff that I do. All right. Apply the sticker first before you connect it. Okay, so the first show I want to talk to you about is With a Dog and a Cat, Every Day is Fun. Last week, I went into watching last week's episode going, oh man, this show is over. Oh, it's a bummer. I like the show so much. But then I found out, no, Pat. There are 24 episodes of With a Dog and a Cat, Every Day is Fun. So you're not watching the last episode, you're watching the 12th of 24 episodes. So today was the 13th episode. Very pleased. This is a very short little cute series that I highly recommend. It is very fun if you need a little bit of life, or a little love in your life, a little bit of a fun time. They're very short little episodes, so I'll talk to you about that here as I go to put these stickers on. Okay, so the owner used to volunteer at a dog shelter, but everyone would rush to do all the dog tasks. But there was a cat there upstairs, and nobody was good with cats. So she was like, "Oh, I've been through the trenches. I can handle that." This is when she was still volunteering. She said, "Well, it turns out that that cat was the sweetest cat and really nice and loving, and the owner was like, I don't know how to deal with this. I've never met a nice cat before," which I thought was a fun little thing, and I have been there, and I get it. When you're like, wait, this is not my expectations at all. Let's see. Later, she reads online that when a cat blinks slowly, it means I love you. So she is like, oh, I'm going to do that to my cat. But we don't know if that's actually true because she does it, and her cat shows her its butt. So she's like, oh, maybe my cat doesn't do that. And then she tries to take a video of her cat being cute because her cat's doing cute stuff. But then she's weirded out by her own voice on the video, like on her phone. She's like, what is this creepy voice squealing? Because she doesn't recognize her own voice when her cat is doing something cute, which is a thing that I was like, relatable. This is relatable. Um, Overall, just a fun episode. And the end of that episode had a new closing theme. So this show has a new closing theme, and I was like, that rules. Because the other one was fun, and this it was a good new closing theme. New closing theme, new little bit of closing animation. It was neat. All right, so this is going to go on top of, or the side of the foot here. So we're going to go and uh, I do not like that this is a giant sticker. That bothers me, but whatever. We'll just go and hit it with some gray, tweak it, and then we'll move on. Okay, so when I started watching a bunch of shows this season, one of the shows that I dropped and then just kind of like went and got caught up on was the Wandering Witch: The Journey of Elaine. Now I know it's spelled Elania, but they call her Elaine in the show, so we're gonna go with that. That is her name. It's Elaine. Um, it is. So here's the thing about this show. I don't think it's good. Case closed. No, I'll give you a little bit more insight into it. I think if you are familiar with Kino's Kino's journey. If you are familiar with Kino's journey, you might like this show. If you wished that Kino didn't get involved with stuff and that everything Kino saw was terrible, which mostly it was, but Kino didn't do shit about it, this is the show for you. And that's not totally fair because there are some instances where Kino, or sorry, we're talking about Kino, where she gets involved. But it's few and far between, and it's usually for selfish reasons. And it ends completely unsatisfactory. It attempts to have this big dramatic moment and this big reveal that, well, actually, this is because this, she's been going through this and this tragic event really affected her. And I'm like, bullshit. That event, which sucked and was sad, meant nothing to her. There's no way it did because nothing means anything to her. Also, this show, apparently the manga is even darker. The manga is way darker, and they chose not to include some things because it's like an anthology style show. They chose not to include some stuff because they thought it would bum out general audiences. I can't imagine what happens in the manga because the anime is already just so rough and sad and depressing. Her big adventure is generally that the world of magic she lives in fucking sucks. Just and there's an early episode where she could intervene and could get involved and make life better for a character, and she chooses not to do that, and then literally says, I can't think about her and what happened to her. I can't, I have to not think about it. And it's just like, well, you could do something about it. You're a fucking witch. And I mean, it's definitely, look, here's the thing. It's one of two things. Wandering Witch is either queer baiting or very terrible at telling a love story. And I legitimately can't tell which it is. Because when I first started watching it, I was like, oh, this is fucking queer baiting. Most of your characters are female. There's a lot of like, it's like, oh, there's a lot of respectful relationships and longing and like, and catch up with me and little subtext things, but you're not really following through on any of it. But then I'm like, no, you know what you're doing here, and you're not being malicious. But then other times I'm like, no, you're being fucking malicious about this. Like, this is Like, you have no intention of any of these characters being interested in one another. And yeah, it's overall a very frustrating watch. I do not recommend it. If you are looking to be really bummed out by a show, I guess you could watch it, but there's so much other stuff out there, and there's just way better shows. There's just way better shows out there for you to engage with. So I'm not recommending it. Uh, and then season 3 of Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Okay, so I will go on record as stating I'm a big fan of season 1 of Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? I like its RPG nature. I love its simplistic kind of story. The gods came down. There's a dungeon, so it's an RPG kind of thing. There are a bunch of animal races and humans and elves, and there's a not that popular queen or a not that popular goddess, uh, and there is but there's somebody that thinks that she's rad and is totally willing to help her out. And Bell, he just wants to become stronger, and he eventually meets somebody incredible that he wants to get on her level because she's one of the strongest people in the whole place. So he's like, that's my thing. Turns out he's got basically an experience boost that other people have never heard of and have no idea about. Uh, that's the easiest way to relate that. His pure-minded drive means that he will power up faster and level up faster. And it's a whole thing. There's a lot of other stuff, and there's characters that want to take advantage of him and characters that are enthralled by him. Basically, it becomes somewhat of a harem show, and by the middle of season 2, there's a whole family of it, like a guild, basically, that are all together, which is nice. It's a nice element of the show. Is the guild? Did I put this on wrong? No. What am I doing wrong here? What am I doing? Yes, I must have assembled this wrong. Yes, I missed a piece. I assembled this incorrectly. I am missing a 13. I was like, what happened? What did I do wrong? So season 2, more adventures, more determination, bunch of bullshit happens. There is a subplot towards the end that is this show cannot and should not try to handle big ideas. It is there are a lot of questions that come up in season 3 it should not try to answer. In season 2, it attempted to try to talk about freedom and slavery and sex work, and it failed on all accounts and told a terrible story, and then tried to back its way out of the story it was telling in order to continue moving Bell's progress forward. That's basically the idea. Got to move Bell forward. This season, they stepped even farther into questionable territory. So you've heard what I've said about this show. It's a fine enough action series. There's some questing. There's a character growth. Yada yada yada. Trying to become a better guy. Lots of characters, want to support him. He naturally has a lot of fans. People want to help him. What do we do in season 3? Well, let's try to ask the question. Let's ask about the natural order of things. There are humans. And there are monsters. And then there's cat people and dog people and wolf people and elves and giants and dwarves and all kinds of stuff, right? There's all these other races that exist. But monsters don't have intelligence, so they're savage and they'll murder, and they barely have pack mentality, but they certainly don't have reason. So you murder them. But what if some monsters, what if there's a group of monsters out there that for somehow have sentience and have intelligence? And one of them happens to be young and looks kind of cute and feminine. What makes them different from animal hybrids races? And what happens when Belle sides with the monsters? Well, the answer is a whole lot and also fucking nothing. The real answer is nothing happens. It's meaningless. The entire season is completely meaningless and does not mean anything. Uh, it mostly paints a god has been like on our side but maybe questionable, tries to make moves that are very selfish, and then that plan backfires, and then continually the big bad in the show, the actual bad person character in the show behind the scenes, continues to help our main character without him knowing, and she is doing it for selfish reasons. But she still helps him out of a jam every time, so I guess it's fine. There is a death that gets undone, thus making it meaningless. And yeah, um, again, sorry to be an asshole about it. I do not recommend season 3 of Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? I think the first season is very fun. I think the first OVA, the OVA for the first season is also pretty fun. The OVA for the second season I would pass. It's very weird and most likely a dream, literally. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the third season. I think that it is a waste of, like I said, nothing happens, and it is a waste of your time. Are there good action scenes? Yeah, there's some fucking great action scenes in it. Are there detestable villains? Yeah. Are you rooting for people? Certainly. But I'm also expecting that if there's a season 4, Belle's gonna kill monsters again. Maybe in one of the episodes he's gonna feel bad about it. But I mean, basically it's like, why did I watch that? I'm mad that I watched it, which I don't like to do uh, because I like the first season. I think the first season is fun. I think the characters are really engaging. I think the story is good. I think Belle is a compelling main character where you are rooting for him. It's an underdog story, so you're rooting for him. You want him to succeed, and it's very frustrating that, like, put obstacles in his way, have him overcome obstacles, sure, but this show should not be trying to tell these very heavy stories, because it's not capable of it. It's Look, it's a light novel series called "Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon?" That's the name of the series. The idea that someone would look at that series, would make that series and go, you know what? I'm going to try to tell a deeper story now. It's like, all right, I guess. I guess you could do that, but maybe you shouldn't. Anyway, yeah. The second season, I was like, okay, hey. But this third season, I was just very disappointed in. I stopped watching like halfway through and then picked it up because I wanted to see it through because I've been watching it. But yeah, if I was casually, just kind of observing, I definitely would have bounced earlier. And that's the anime I've been watching the past couple of days. For Monday, I will talk about the last episode of my Setsu opening act. We ended on a cliffhanger, so I'm interested in seeing where that goes. And then I'm going to try to catch up on the shows that I either didn't watch at all or stopped watching because I wasn't interested. The ones that I will be covering are A Regular at Magic High School. I'll be finishing that up probably either Thursday or Saturday because I do have a few episodes to watch for that, and there's only one episode left, so I guess I should wait on that. And then I guess I'm gonna finish. I'm standing on a million lives. Uh, and then Akudama Drive. I, oof, y'all. I want to like Akudama Drive. Uh, but it's the same studio that makes Danganronpa, and I do not enjoy that art style. It's not a Danganronpa thing. The content has nothing to do with that. It's just the art style really doesn't sit with me. Oh, thank you so much for subscribing. That's 6 months. You're on a 1 month streak from Commander Canty. I'm going to hit the old applause there. Let's throw the barricade Lego, the site emote in chat, and thank Commander Canty for subscribing. If you're a subscriber, you can throw those emotes in there. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Um, yeah, thank you and welcome. Oh, I'm going to have to hit these with the gray. Um, but yeah, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it. So I'm Standing on a Million Lives is a show that like I guess I should finish up. I mean I feel like they're not going to answer the questions I have. I might have to read the manga for that, or read the spoilers of the manga for that. But I do kind of want to see where the story goes, even if I'm the intriguing nature of having a main character be completely worthless and at the very least, the episodes I watched have no attempt to have any self-realization. In fact, a lot of episodes involved him having moments where he was clearly like in another show would have that like big realization of what was going on and having like that like come to Jesus moment, and instead would like just fuck it up right at the last second. Be like, wait, is this the? No, no, that can't be. And you'd be like, oh, that's kind of fun. So I was somewhat interested to see if he was going to uh, continue in that way, but I don't know. Oh yes, and enjoy. Oh hi Bobby, and enjoy your emotes if people got some emotes. All right, we got some time left in the stream, so again, Monday, I'm going to continue working on this kit. We still have to finish the back burners and all that. Instead of just barreling through and building, we have stopped along the way to do markers, uh, and we will continue doing that. We still have to do the back thrusters and the shield, so we will do that. And then, does the kit have a shield? Yeah, the kit has a shield. Yeah, it's got a fun shield. So we'll build that, and then I'll start my next kit, which I'll show you is the 00 Quanta. This is the Quanta high grade that Lashbrook purchased, so that's the next thing on the list to build because it was bought off my wish list. So Monday, I'll do that. Wednesday, Pat Bear's Anime Club live, talking about all the shows I watched this season. So if you want to see me talk about anime stuff. Also, at the end of the episode, I will do my preview for the next season. I will take a quick look. The shows I'm excited for. There's some returning shows, second season stuff like, oh God, like I'm so excited for the second season of Laid Back Camp. Can't wait for that. But there's other stuff. There is a adventure series that I'm very much interested in. I forget the exact title because it's an incredibly long visual novel title. But the gist of it is the weakest person in town, in his village, goes to become an adventurer. He's the weakest person. And so he's like, well, I'm going to leave my town and I'm going to go to the adventure. I want to be an adventurer. I'm going to go to the starting area and get trained. Well, the thing is, this kid, the town he is in, is the town next to the hardest dungeon. So he's the weakest character in his town, but he's already incredibly strong compared to everybody else in the starting area. So it's basically like, what if the first person you met on your party as a new adventurer was maxed out? He's not maxed out, but he's really strong. So but the thing is, he's very strong and skilled, but, yes, the last dungeon, yes. To what to the last dungeon, yeah. So he is very strong and does not have any concept of that. He has no idea that he is awesome. And I really, really like the concept of that. I think that is a cool concept. Um, so I think that that is a very cool idea for a show. And there's some other action stuff that's coming out. There's some chill stuff that's coming out. I think the knitting anime is next season, but that might be that unfortunately might actually be April. Xander says, I recently got into Gunpla and was wondering what to do. Um, Xander, let's see. So you recently got into building model kits, all right? What have you recently got into learning about it, or have you done any building? Um, if you've never built any kits and you're looking where to start, uh, you can check Amazon, you can check Gundam Planet, USA Gundam Store. You can search, for your location, find a place that's near you that's local that sells model kits, like a hobby shop that will maybe do curbside pickup or delivery or shipping. Um, so there are the easiest grades to build right now for Gunpla are high grades. This is the high grade. That's your easiest start. There's one grade that's actually easier than that, and it's called entry grade. It's brand new. It came out this year. The entry grade kits are designed that you don't need tools. You don't need snippers to do it. The entry grade RX-78, which is the original Gundam from the original Gundam show, it doesn't have any stickers. Um, the instructions are in English, very easy to read, color photos the whole way through, goes step by step. You build a little kit, you build the Gundam. It is for anyone that is interested in doing model kits but has never done it before. I cannot stress enough how good that experience was. Um, the RX-78 entry grade, the EG, the entry grade, is where you start if you want to get started building model kits. When you've done that, then you want to get into high grade, the HG. My advice is to pick a show that you are very familiar with. If you started with Iron Blooded Orphans, you get yourself an Iron Blooded Orphans high grade. If you started with Gundam 00, you do that. If you started with Destiny, if you started with Build Fighters or Build Divers, get something from that. Because if you're familiar with the kit, even if it is something that you're like, I'm not comfortable model kit building, you can hopefully get comfortable with the idea of, well, I'm not super comfortable with model kitting, but I know what this is supposed to look like. My first kits were high grades from Gundam Wing Endless Waltz because I really liked the show. And so I was like, well, I'm going to get the thing that I know, and then I'll figure out if this is something I want to do. But yeah, you start there with high grades of things you like. What if you don't watch the series but love how the models look? Well, that's the nice thing about I am the unicorn. Look, so this is from Iron Blooded Orphans, which is a show I really like. Is it from the anime? No. Is it from the manga, which I haven't read? No. This is from the mobile game, which did not come out in the US as far as I know. This particular kit I have no affinity for, but I like the show. But I saw it and I was like, it's pink. It's a pale pink. That's cool. I want to get that. That's all it was. I just looked at it and saw if that looks cool. It's a high grade. I think I'm going to get that. So you don't need any affinity for the show itself. Sometimes you just want to get a thing that looks cool. I build a lot of stuff from Gundam Build Fighters, a show I've only watched a couple episodes of. In the future, I'm going to be building this kit because it's nonsense. Do you see this kit? This is the new Zeon Gundam. It's a Gundam and a Zaku, and it doesn't make any sense, and it shouldn't. It's piloted by Captain Zaku, and it was a joke character, basically. This thing doesn't make any sense at all. I'm going to blow it up. Look at it. It's a Zaku, and it's a Gundam. And that's its shield. Its sword is also its shield. and it doesn't make any sense. And there's an upgraded version of the sword that the model kit doesn't have, but in the anime, it needs extra people to help it. So that's a high grade, which is that's where a lot of kits from Gundam Build Divers are in. They're in the high grade, especially the odd kits like that. So I got that on Amazon. I use Amazon a lot because I have Amazon Prime, so I get free shipping. But um, yes, Lastbrook explains that Captain Zeon is basically a superhero YouTuber within the VR MMO of Build Divers. So basically, like, imagine there are people out there that play like a game like Rust or Ark, and they kind of role play throughout the whole thing, and then they also make video content of them role playing, and then they have a following. Basically, Captain Zeon is that, but for a VR MMO game about battling with Gundams. That's why his gimmick is so strange, because he's like the knighthood stuff of Zeon, but a Gundam, and that doesn't make any sense. So Amazon's a great resource because shipping. You just get Amazon Prime and it gets here. USA Gundam Store is a great online resource for finding things and for purchasing things. They are based out of Florida. Gundam Planet. First of all, Gundam Planet just has like information about everything, all kinds of kits. Gundam Planet is based in New Jersey. They're another company I really like and like using. Um, I don't know of West Coast United States stores. These are East Coast ones, obviously, because I am on the East Coast, so it makes more sense for me to purchase from them. Uh, but yeah, if you have a local shop, you can always talk to people there. If it's a comic shop that also does model kits, sometimes they have catalog stuff or they have deals with their suppliers. They can order stuff if there's something that you're super interested in. You can always do that because they want a customer. They want you to keep buying from them if you can. So they are interested in getting your business. Hobby shops like that order stuff all the time, and they have sales. You can always check in on that, especially now with and that would be happy to take your money. Because yeah, if you can do local, please do. A lot of the stuff, the reason I do Amazon is convenience, because they have good, I'm paying for Prime so I can get the shipping and you know, and I can just put in Gundam and kind of search around. I only have experience building master grade because I personally like spending time on each models. Would you recommend high grade models? How long just building them take you? Okay, so if I am on my own, if I'm not streaming, and a high grade will generally take me between an hour and a half to 2 hours to build a kit, just me doing it. If I'm on stream, it takes a couple hours because I'm talking, and I'm just starting to get into doing markers and stuff. So that also adds time because now I'm stopping what I'm doing to look at what this kind of stuff. Oh, thank you for following. I appreciate that. But I'm just now getting into markers, literally today. So yeah, usually like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I've been doing this a lot. I build model kits 6 hours a week. So over the last 2 years, or 3 years, I should say. Yeah, this is the third. Yeah. So I have a lot of experience doing it. But it's a little slower when I'm talking and figuring things out. So that doesn't take a long time. High grades in many ways are very easy, but in some ways are definitely not easy because they're smaller. Like this kit has small pieces. It doesn't have super small pieces. When you get into real grades, that's when you're dealing with very tiny pieces because that's the 144 scale. Master grade is 1/100 scale. There was a time where Bandai made 1/100 scale kits that were high grades, and that was a great time. Those were the best entry to trying out the hobby because they were big kits with big pieces, and it was a lot easier. Okay, how much do you run into third-party sellers jacking up prices on Amazon? I used to see that a lot when I bought Figure Arts, had to keep up with real MSRP should be. So we were talking today. Prices really fluctuate. I do often take a look at Honey. I use Honey, the browser extension, which kind of tracks the prices of things. You can set alerts. I use that a lot. Yeah, you kind of have to do the legwork, right? So, like, you can see what the price is when it's going up for pre-order. And then you can see what the price is after that. And it jumps up. Now, this year, particularly in the year 2020, prices are high. Prices are very high in the year 2020 because uh, it's hard for people to get shipments from Japan. I mean, that's the easiest way to say it. It's just hard to get stuff. So there's a demand for things. And also, not only is it harder for people to get things, more people are using Amazon to buy their kits because they don't want to go to stores, or the stores don't have stock, or the stores are closed. And then also, more people are getting into hobbies they haven't had before, or reliving hobbies. Like, people had more free time at home, and they were like, well, I used to like model kits. What's going on in the world of Gundam? So the prices can jump up pretty high. You do have to keep an eye on it. It's easier to go to the bigger sites because they are competitive with one another, like Big Bad Toys and Entertainment Earth and USA Gundam Store and Gundam Planet are all competing with each other. So they kind of have to keep prices fairly relative. Now, there's occasion times when that is not the case, but generally they try to keep things going. You said just finishing up a 100 HG from 1996. Yeah, that was the sweet spot. The Gundam Wing kits, that were the 1/100 scale and the high grades. The G Gundam kits that are that scale and the high grades look really good. That was a good era for that. I really do miss that. I think that was just like a cool time of those big high grades. The closest thing now is there is a line from Gundam X. Hell yeah. There was a line for Iron-Blooded Orphans called Full Mechanics. It is a non-grade. It's called Full Mechanics. It doesn't have anything else. They are 1/100 scales. They are somewhere in between a high grade and a master grade. So they're easier than a master grade, but they are harder than a high grade. And that's a fun line. I really do like those kits. Those were very enjoyable to build. All right, we're almost done here with the foot, and then we'll finish off the leg. So we're almost body complete with this. So I'm going to finish this up. A little more line work here. We need that. And 17. Oh yeah, Gundam X. I oddly talk about Gundam X a whole lot, and I do really enjoy that line, that show. It just got a raw deal. The worst thing for Gundam X was coming out after Gundam Wing. If it had come before Wing after G Gundam, I think people would have been more into it in Japan, but they were not. They were not into it. I wish the RE100 and similar kits saw more reprints. Yeah. So RE100 kits. RE100 kits are fun because they are kits that you wouldn't see a master grade of, right? So some of them you probably would eventually, but they're like one-offs or they're big bulky kits like the Hama Hama. But then some kits are like the Gun EZ. The Gun EZ, like, I could see them making that. Or there's a Zaku that's like forest green that I really like. I forget which Zaku it is, but like there's a couple kits and you're like, you could have made this if you wanted to. You just didn't. You didn't. I don't know why you didn't. Some of them are really good, but they're effectively, they're just big, cool high grades in between. And the first couple RE100s in the very first of the line, I'm not the hugest fan of. In the same way that the first couple real grades aren't that great. The first couple real grades are like I think it's the Wing is like the worst of it. They're just a little unstable. They just needed a little more time in the kiln, and they did not get that time. All right, so we're just going to put this with the gray here. Get this around. Nice and light. There's not a lot to do with this. Just hit some spots there. And then we'll do some more line work when we get this all together. Just want to hit that. Put these all together again. Yeah. So the real grades are a little hit and miss, but I've built some really fun real grades that I very much enjoyed putting together. I think the Gun EZ was the last real grade I put together, but I did really like that one. Yeah, they don't have a lot of intermediary. Like the real grade is kind of the real grade is like if you like the scale of the 144, but you want more detail because you're like kind of tired of high grades. I'm just like, I mean, I'm sure that person exists. I'm just like, it's not me. So I'm like, I don't know. All right, so where our foot got connected here, we're going to do in black to highlight this to kind of make the red pop a little bit even more. And as I said, I've broken record on this doing these markers. You just kind of get a feel for it. You're just kind of doing what you want to do with it. Doesn't look great, that's okay. Because you just move on to the next thing. But yeah, I think that looks pretty sharp. And that together. We are going to finish the foot here. I got one more piece to put together. And then if you're new to the stream, what's going to happen at the end of the stream here, because we've got a few more minutes left, is we're going to go raid. We're going to find somebody. Now, are they model kit builders? Almost never. I have a lot of friends who do creative stuff. A lot of them are gamers primarily. And that's the thing I'm more interested in is like, do they have a cool community? Are they fun people? Are they playing interesting video games? Or, doing painting or cool model kits? Or like figure painting stuff. Or are they art streamers? Like, I'm way more interested in who they are and like what their community is like than I am interested in if they are like, oh well, yeah, we got to find somebody who's a builder. Like that's all I care about. Like I care about, are they cool folks doing cool shit? Because that is way more interesting to me as a because y'all are you, but when I do a raid, you also represent this community. And so, I want to, in the same time, I want to show you, I want to show you off. I want to be like, hey, person that I know and like, check out my cool chat. They're coming into your stream. You're playing this thing? You're playing Teardown? Cool. We're going to hang out. This is going to be fun. Oh, you're playing Warcraft. You're raiding in Warcraft. That's weird. That's a thing people do. Cool. Let's go hang out while you do that. I don't know who's streaming now, so that'll be interesting to see. But we'll be doing that in a couple minutes. I just want to finish this off. Then we'll go and check out the stream. But thanks to everybody for being here tonight. I will say this, I'll tell you, the numbers have been very fucking good lately, and that is a pleasant surprise because sometimes, kind of leading into the holiday, they weren't the best. So I am very pleased to see. Thank you for Wood. Thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate that. So it is nice to see some people coming through and hanging out. You're welcome here anytime. As I've said, I do model kit building on Mondays and Thursdays and Saturdays from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. If I go longer than 2 hours, I start making terrible mistakes. And I don't want to do that, so I don't stream longer. So on my channel, I think this is awesome. Well, great. I'm glad you did. That's why I put, Gundam in the title. And that's why I'm Makers and Crafting. But yeah, thanks for coming in. You literally came on a great day because today is the first day that I've ever worked with markers, with Gundam markers. This is literally a brand new thing for me. So you came in at a cool day of me like experimenting and trying to get better with this. because this is a thing that I am very new to, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think it just looks rad. Anyway, we got to put there's basically no side skirts to this kit, but we'll do that on Monday. We'll build the boosters that we got to put on. We'll build the backpack and then move on to the next kit once that's done. But let me just get this together. No experience. Yeah, no, I have tonight's experience. I played around with another kit a little bit, and then I did the crown today before the stream, just kind of warm up my hands. So this is the most I've ever done of panel lining on a kit in my life and shading, and I'm pretty happy with it. Still have a long way to go, I'm sure. I'll learn, and it will be second nature. I'll be able to read colors better and go like, okay, because like, what is pink? What looks good on pink? Gray. What looks good on red? Black. What looks good on the yellow? Gold. Black. Like I don't know. I'll figure it out. When do I ever use brown? As of right now, I don't know. But we'll figure it all out. Thanks so much for hanging out, everybody. I am gonna go we're gonna go give a raid, so I have to go figure out who that's gonna be for. So let's go see who's streaming right now. I try to pick people on the West Coast. I'm on the East Coast because theoretically they will stream longer into the night. Let's see. And I know who we're gonna go raid. It's literally the third stream in a row. It's just happened that way. Well, maybe we didn't do that the other night. We're gonna raid Xandra, cause Xandra rules. We gotta win on that. Xandra is awesome. Xandra made my emotes, and she is rad. She's playing Cloudpunk, which is just a cool, weird show. And I do think this is like the third stream in a row that we've raided her. But we also have a bunch of folks here, so that's cool. I'm happy to do that. Gray is for your white pieces. Black is for cool colors like blue. Brown is for warm like red. Oh, so I could have done brown for some of this red, although like here I could have done brown, I guess. Oh, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that. So we could have done that. Okay. Lastbrook, yeah, we could have done around that, but I did like doing black here for the red. That's good to know. That you could have done brown for the warm color like red. But the black for the yellow I think looks good. But yeah, I'm going to play around with it. I'm going to see what I like. Feel free to come along on this raid. Thank you all so much for being here. This is a great stream. This is a great Saturday night. As I said, my next stream is on Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will finish up this kit, and then we will move on to the next one. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your Saturday. Feel free to come along on the raid. Squeaks says, you're raiding the person I just left. Well, that happens sometimes, right? But yeah. Oh, no problem, Xander. As I said, I am an enthusiast with experience. So I'm glad I was able to answer some questions. And everyone have a great night. Back to Xandra. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.